I'm David Pollack, and this is the Thirst Entertainment Network News Update. If you saw the news recently, Senator Dianne Feinstein sadly passed away last Thursday. She was the oldest serving member of the U.S. Senate, first elected in 1992. She was a passionate advocate for liberal priorities important to her state, but she was also known as a pragmatic lawmaker who reached out to Republicans who sought. When she returned to the Senate in May, she appeared frail and she was using a wheelchair, voting occasionally. Gavin Newsom has chosen LaFonza Butler to replace her. She's a president of Emily's List. LaFonza will be the third black woman ever to serve in the Senate, as well as the first openly gay person to represent California in the chamber. Politico first reported Newsom's choice of Butler. Interesting to note, she's registered to vote in Maryland with an address in that state. Registration records indicate that Butler lives in Silver Spring, Maryland, and her mailing address is the same as her residential address. She registered as a Democrat there on September 12th, 2022. If you didn't know, Emily's List is an organization that helps pro-abortion women get elected to public office. President Trump appeared in person for his New York civil fraud case, where New York Attorney General Letitia James sued Trump and three of his children, Donald Jr., Ivanka, and Eric Trump, as well as other company executives, back in September. Her office accused them of perpetuating years of fraud and vastly overrepresenting both Trump's wealth and the value of many of his properties on financial statements. James' office is seeking $250 million and a slew of sanctions designed to severely limit the Trump organization's ability to do business in New York. Letitia James, a Democrat, won election twice as New York's Attorney General. You might remember back in 2018, she vowed to go after Trump, and it appears that's exactly what she's doing. Letitia James, a Democrat, won election twice in New York as Attorney General. She took office in January of 2019. You might remember in her campaign in 2018, she vowed to go after Trump. Here's her in her own words.
Running for Attorney General because I will never be afraid to challenge this illegitimate president when our fundamental rights are at stake. I believe that this president is incompetent. I believe that this president is ill-equipped to serve in the highest office of this land. And I believe that he is an embarrassment to all that we stand for. He should be charged with obstructing justice. I believe that the President of these United States can be indicted for criminal offenses, and we would join with law enforcement and other attorneys general across this nation in removing this president from office. It's important that everyone understand that the days of Donald Trump are coming to an end.
Kevin McCarthy, House Republicans, and some Democrat allies have passed a 45-day continuing resolution to keep the lights on in Washington, D.C. This has angered conservative members of the House, including Matt Gaetz, who now is calling for him to vacate the seat.
Speaker McCarthy made an agreement with House conservatives in January, and since then he has been in brazen, repeated material breach of that agreement. This agreement that he made with Democrats to really blow past a lot of the spending guardrails we'd set up is a last straw. And then overnight I learned that Kevin McCarthy had a secret deal with Democrats on Ukraine. I do intend to file a motion to vacate against Speaker McCarthy this week. I think we need to rip off the Band-Aid. I think we need to move on with new leadership that can be trustworthy.
We'll see what happens, but for the next 45 days, all eyes will be on Washington, D.C. to see what they do with the budget. This has been the Thirst Entertainment Network News Update.